I look at my crystal ball and I see there is so much tea going on this week. Whew. It can't be held in one teapot. Hey y'all, this is Sarah LaShawn. This is the weekly tea where I come to you, and this is a weekly broadcast. And I just go on a rant about what's happened this week. If you guys didn't hear, all condolences to Miss Cleo and her family. She passed away this week from cancer. And if you don't remember her, she was the "Call me now" lady. And she spoke in a Jamaican accent. "Call me now, man, for your psychic reading." Yeah, if you didn't know, she was an actress, okay? And she went by about 5 different names, okay? But what was real was that she did have cancer and she did die. So the condolences do go out to her family. I hate some of y'all. I really do. Because y'all make it hard for me to be on social media. Y'all are horrible. Y'all are like, I wonder if she saw it coming. Did she predict that in her crystal ball? I'm like, y'all is wrong as all get out. And then I was thinking the same thing too. But really what was going through my head was on Dave Chappelle. When he was doing this like a hotline, he's like, I got a fishy suspicion that ain't Jamaican. I was like, oh my goodness. If y'all know, it was like from 97 to like 2001. She had those real cheesy commercials. So if you called her, I'm sorry. It was for entertainment use only. It was not to be taken seriously. So, no, Jeff, you do not get a refund for your money that you spent calling her, okay? That's your bad, boo-boo, okay? Still love you, okay? But let's get to what went on this week. And I'm going to start first with just this because it's really what's hot on my mind right now. Oh, my goodness. Is divorce in the air? It's either you're divorced or you're pregnant. And in some cases, you're both. Is it in the air? I just need to know. Is divorce in the air? Because it seems like everybody is getting divorced right now. Okay, so Keisha Knight Pulliam. We know her as Rudy from The Cosby Show. She played in a couple of other movies. She was in Beauty Shop. She had that scene with Amari Hadwig where, he wanted her to come out and Queen Latifah came out there. Okay, we're going to talk about Power later. But, I got a Jones for him. But, she's been in a lot of stuff since she's been an adult as well. But she married Ed Hardwell, who is Lisa Wu from originally she was one of the first Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's married to Keith Sweat. They have a baby boy together. But her ex-husband, Ed Hartwell, he's an ex-football player. So she married him New Year's Eve this past year. And 2015 going into 2016. And she's pregnant. And Keisha Knight Pulliam, Keisha's pregnant with the baby girl. Well, this joker comes out this week and he's like, he filed for divorce and wants a paternity test. He suspects her of cheating. And it's his story first because he's the one that filed. He's the one that got caught coming from the courthouse with filing the paperwork. And so he's like, well, she was too spoiled. She wasn't submissive enough. And he's like, and he pretty much suspected her of cheating with her ex, Big Tigger. If you don't know who Big Tigger is, from The Basement, okay? BET from The Basement, when BET used to be hot. The Basement, that dude. I'm sorry, BET to me was whack nowadays. But anyway, he accused her of cheating. So he's like, I want to make sure all my bases are covered. So I want a paternity test. And I'm like, that is, dang, just embarrass her. But she came back for him, right? She's like, okay, I got some tea for you. She went on Entertainment Tonight. Brought them through the Atlanta house. She sat down and she said, you know what? That morning, he left like it was any other morning. And he said, he called me hours later and said, you know what? This is not working out. And I have filed for divorce. and I'm coming to get my things. And I'm like, wow, so you really didn't know. So, bam, somebody got a picture of him coming out the courthouse, and it went viral just like that. And that's pretty much the issue. And she was distraught. She started crying and everything. And me myself, I'd be like, are they acting or are they putting on? So I'd be looking real close like, she had real tears coming out of my eyes. I was like, yeah, that baby hurt. And I felt for her. I really did. I really do feel for her, because we have all, I want y'all to be real for a moment, okay? We have all jumped into situations with people who we care a lot about, who we love, who we will say we love, and we want it to work out. And we go into it with all the best intentions, that it will work, that everything will be okay, that it's going to be this magical peachy fairy tale, and it turns out to be anything but less. So I'm not passing judgment on her, because I went into marriage the same way, thinking we're two loving people, this is going to be great. We have all played the fool to someone, okay? Some of us more people than one. So I'm not passing any judgment on Keisha Knight Pulliam. I hope she pulls it together. And she came out and she's like, I'm not going to keep, this is my only interview I'm going to do on this topic. I'm not going to keep on this. I'm not the type of person that keeps with something that's not productive. And I agree with her. I'm like, you know what? Good choice. Because you did it on Entertainment Tonight. Yes, good choice. And she said, you know, who's suffering? It's her baby. The baby girl. She's suffering. Which I'm like, yes, she is suffering. And I'm like, dude, if you suspected she was pregnant by another dude, why would so many unanswered questions, as Dr. Drea would say. And if you don't know, go to Trayvon Melvin's page. I'm like, wait a minute, why would you marry her? Because speculations were they were dating way before they announced they were dating. They were married way before they announced they were married, and he knew she was pregnant, and he's like, I just want to make sure all the bases around it and everything is taken care of. And then people are coming out saying, well, they had a lot of arguments, you know, I didn't expect it to last, but still, it's between the couple how far they're going to take it. So once again, I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm like, you know what, you did propose to her to marry you. I don't think she put you at gunpoint and said, you gonna marry me. So you can think the baby is big Tigger's, whatever. She's like, I'm totally fine with complying. She's like, I'm not that person. I'm totally fine with complying with a DNA test. She's like, I'm totally fine. She's like, I just want my Cosby Show money, and I think it's like her house or something else. No, she's gonna sell the house before the baby girl is born. But she's like, you know, certain things he just can't have, and that's it. And she's like, I'm done with it. But I really do feel sorry for her. I hope she's okay. And the way he did it, communication, go to the woman and talk, go to her and talk to her. Don't just do stuff and then it just bam, she just finds out about it. You a phone call, man. Some stuff deserves a face-to-face. I'm just saying. That's just terrible, Sean. I'm just saying. Some stuff deserves a real face-to-face, not a phone call or a text message saying it's over. She shouldn't have been blindsided like that. She should have known. If you were leaving her, you should have made it known. And everybody's really trying to call her desperate and say that she just wanted a husband or everything. But we don't really know. And like I said before, we've all played the fool. We've all given our heart to somebody and expected something. And in return, we got the exact opposite. So I'm not going to cast judgment on her. I wish her the best through this. And I'm going to pray for her. It really is a sad situation to be in. Divorce is not fun. I am divorced. And I will tell you, that is a pain in the butt to do that paperwork. And sometimes you need that experience just to teach you. And that's how I look at my divorce. It was a teaching experience. We were two great people who loved each other, who wanted to make something work that just wasn't going to work. There's no animosity. And I might have talked real bad about him in the past, and I have apologized for it so many times. And I know he's talked bad about me in the past, and he has apologized for it. But he's gone on with his life. I've gone on with my life. We're happy together. We're happy being separate, not with each other. So it's all good. So I wish her a lot of peace and happiness, in her new journey, and especially with her baby girl. And she's pregnant, so I really hope people do lay off of her, because being 5-6 months pregnant and you dealing with this type of stress, that can really affect your health. So, and a lot of people know they're gonna done work that they've experienced and went through worse. It's just not, you're not a public figure, and it's just not uploaded to social media as soon as it happens. People just find out about it afterwards. So, celebrities are people too. Back off. Okay? And like I said, this must be the season of divorce, because then Lil Wayne baby mama Toya, she came out saying she's divorcing Memphis Wright. She don't want to be with him anymore. And they're on the Celebrity Boot Camp, which is, I think, it's on one MTV or VH1, one of them. But they were trying to go and work out their marriage, and Memphis is the ex to K. Michelle, who is on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta now. She went to New York, came back to Atlanta, and during one of her concerts, she put a picture up of them two arguing or something. I'm like, ooh, messy boots. But yeah, he's her ex who supposedly beat her, and that's no laughing matter, okay? So they're divorcing. And oh my goodness, what really took me for a loop, Mary J. Blige and Kendu divorced after 12 years. 12 years of marriage. Oh, I saw that. I said, what happened here? And the next thing that came out of my mouth was, her next CD is about to be jamming. Woo! I'm going to pre-order that on Google Play. I said, they've been married for 12 years. Oh my goodness. Because you know what Mary J. Blige is going through. Her songs reflect that. So I'm like, maybe I need to go back and listen to Take Me As I Am and all that. And so I can understand. Maybe it was something going on there. But she says it's irreconcilable differences. And then she said, I don't want him by no means to try to get any spousal support. I said, Mary J., you didn't have him sign a prenup? So what is going on? Everybody's getting divorced. People pregnant. Jocelyn, excuse me, from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Jocelyn Hernandez, the Puerto Rican princess, she's supposedly pregnant. They don't know if it's Stevie J's baby or if it is Young Dro's baby. I'm like, oh my goodness, what in the world? And then also from the same show, not Tommy, but Young Scrap, who's doing 5 years in jail. His Tiara, yes, his baby mama is pregnant, and Karen King is not happy about it at all. She is slandering her all over Twitter and Instagram, and she's pregnant with her 5th child. And it came up actually in a Facebook group that I'm part of, Elite Queens, because I am a queen. If you did not know, now you know. Why is it that the society looks down on women who have kids by multiple baby daddies? And I'm like, you know what? I don't look down on anybody, because you can easily be in that situation. But to tell you the truth, growing up listening to your elders, your grandmothers, your mom, your aunts, your cousins, your female cousins, they will tell you that a woman who was just having multiple kids was just loose. and couldn't keep that kitty cat to herself. And didn't have P control, which is control. But I understand a lot of people, they want big families. They don't believe in birth control. Whatever. I don't care. I don't judge, because nothing has came out of this womb. Okay. So you create it, you take care of it. That's my stance on that. But moving on, because that has just been the biggest thing. Has been just the uproar with the divorces and the pregnancies that's been coming up. And I tilt my hat to you, my TI tilt. I wish you all the best of luck. This week started the Democratic convention. Yes, we got a turn. Go Democrats. Go Obama. Obama beat your mama. Okay. Sorry, I'm having a Paul Mooney moment. But Michelle Obama came out, and of course she came with her original speech. I like Trump's wife, Melania Trump. Last week we ran her through the mud, because you gonna recycle a speech from Michelle Obama from '08 and think that nobody is gonna notice. Boop, you got caught. Okay. But Michelle Obama, she came out, she said, baby, you can take all the speeches you want. That's okay, because nothing is quite like the original. She told him, she said, when I wake up in a house built by slaves. I watch my daughters, 2 beautiful black women, head to school, and they waving goodbye to their father, which is the president of the United States of America. Okay? And she went on, because, baby, I wrote it down, okay? I took notes. She said, their legacy is very much your legacy and your inheritance. And don't let anybody tell you differently. You are the living, breathing proof that the American dream endures in our time. It's you. I said, baby. And then she had on her blue. I said, oh, I could gag, because I'm like, I need that dress in my closet right now. I said, you better. I don't understand why people are so hard on her. She is the most elegant, most just fashionista. She is just the sharpest first lady. She's not all stuffed in a suit like the other first ladies. She is just, I can't think of a first lady, gosh, before, because when I came into this world and everything, when I was able to understand, I grew up in the Reagan era, so I started with the Reagan era, but that has more poise and sophistication than Jackie O than Michelle Obama. I'm like, how could people not appreciate and like her? Oh my goodness, she got on Tonight Show and did the car karaoke. Missy Elliott popped out the back like, oh, what? Our girl, I was like, what? Oh my goodness, she is so down to earth. And I loved it. And I'm like, no one has just been more, gosh, just more, oh my goodness, than Michelle Obama. I mean, she's just so liberating and it's just so free. She's like a butterfly released to me. I know, that rhymes. I didn't notice. But yeah, and people, and then, after her speech, here come the haters. Here come, of course, old fat over, Rush Limbaugh talking about she really needs to get over slavery. It's like having, he compared it to, it's like having an ex-wife, and you forgive her for cheating, but you don't have a prayer's chance if she still brings it up. Baby, nobody is going to forget about slavery. Okay? Just like no one is going to forget about the Jewish Holocaust. No one is going to forget about 9/11. Nobody is going to forget about the Oklahoma City bombings. Okay? We're not going to forget about any type of act of terrorism. And the Indians sure are not gonna forget about getting alcohol and smallpox from people coming from Britain. So you get over it. What? And then here come Bill O'Reilly. The slaves back in the day, they were fed well and they had decent lodging. I'm like, well, I guess you would know since you about as old as a slave too, Mr. O'Reilly. I'm sorry, that's giving you too much credit, Bill. I'm like, okay. And people shut him down quick. They went to Abigail Adams and they started posting her work saying, She documented during that time that they were barely fed and they were in destitute of clothing. So that meant they were without. So your argument closed. And then here comes this loan officer, Lisa Greenwood. She gets on Twitter, and this is why, you know what, people are just, they take social media really for granted. And I'm going to add a little bit more to that later on, because I know this T is going to be long as the letter T, okay, in the alphabet, because there's so much that happen. But some things you just do not need to say on social media. You need to keep to yourself. And that was the case with Lisa Greenwood, and she's a loan officer of the, the Homefront Financial. Oh, she used to be there. Because she tweeted talking about beautiful. Talking about Michelle Obama. Beautiful. She is a ugly black. Well, Lisa, we hate to inform you, you are unemployed, broke, boom, because you got fired. Because they came as soon as that tweet hit. People were tweeting where she worked, and they were like, "Do you condone this type of behavior? Do you condone this type of racism?" And it was more than black people, okay? It was white people. It was Hispanic people. It was people of multiple races. They were like, "You condone this?" And they were like, "We at Homefront Financial do not condone this, and this is against our policy." Bam, fired. You cannot post everything you feel on social media. Okay? It's one thing if you're doing your own thing and you're not including, because we all have our side hustles, but we know this is what we really want to do. It's one thing to say, that's my side. That's my side. Okay? It's not to be included. This is what you know me as. So take it as that. No, she came full forth. This is where she works, all her information. So, yeah, boo-boo, you got fired. Good luck with that, because whenever you go to apply for a job, they do look at social media to see if anything comes up in your government name. So good luck. And I'm like, why would people even put something like that out there with so much hatred? Even though it's your opinion, sometimes it's best to keep your opinion to yourself. But anyway, whatever. Because I'm expressing my opinion through this video and whatever. But she shouldn't have said that. And then here comes Trump saying that Barack Obama has been the most ignorant president in our history. And he is going to go down in history as a disaster as a president and one of the worst. I'm like, you know what? You're going to go down in history as one of the worst people to ever be given the bid from the Grand Old Party to run for the Republican Party. You're going to go down as one of the worst. And then he invited Russia. He said, and I think Hillary's going to be worse. And Russia, you really need to go tap into her emails. Treason? I'm like, is no one paying attention? Treasonous act. Telling Russia, yeah, go look into her emails. And then he's like, I was being sarcastic. No, you're being the jerk that you were known to be. And I used to love Celebrity Apprentice and everything, but you know what? I refuse to watch it now. I refuse to support anything. No. I was never a big Donald Trump fan anyway. I just like the show because I watched the last episode where T.O. and Vivica Fox and Kenya Moore was on there. That's it. And I once upon a time, long time ago, I interviewed one of the cast members who was on there with Omarosa. That's it. And she's doing something for his party, whatever. Oh my goodness, girl. But I'm like, you know what? No, I will not support anything that is Trump. And speaking of that, a lot of people have come down on Nick Cannon because he's like, I'm not going to vote this presidential election. I'm going to vote in local elections, but I'm not voting in presidential elections because I don't like all the hype that's going on with Hillary and Donald Trump. And, you know, we need to start in our communities first and build up our community and then reach out. Which, you know what, I'm not gonna go against Nick Cannon on that. I truly agree with him. You do need to start at home first. So you do need to start within your community. What I say with anything, you need to start at home, community, then reach out. So I hear what he's saying, but then again, he does have a very high standing than most of us. So you can influence more people. But I'm thinking maybe he doesn't think that either of the two are good candidates for President of the United States, which is his opinion, you know. Once again, like I said before, we forget that celebrities are people. So, I mean, he's entitled to feel that way, and I know, and he said it too. He's like, I know a lot of our ancestors fought for this, and I'm not trying to persuade you in any way. If you want to go vote, but I'm not voting in the presidential election. I'm voting in the local election. And you can go to most people and say, who is your councilman? And they don't know. And that is true. That's very true. So I mean, I understand what he's saying. Me personally, I am still going to go out November 8th and cast my vote for Hillary. I live in the conservative state of Texas, so I don't know what will happen between the electoral count and regular count, whatever. But I'm still going to do it because there's still a lot of issues on the ballot that I want to vote for with Dallas. But I understand where he's coming from, and he called a lot of slack, and people calling him ignorant, and that's what people lashing out at him and saying that's what they want us to do. They don't want us to vote. And a lot of people saying we're not going to vote until all Black Lives Matter, and I'm like, honey, come on, you waiting for that? Once again, slavery was what, 400 years? What? Okay. You better take advantage of these privileges. And so, you know, but I understand his stance on it. And Bow Wow gonna jump. Shad Moss, what is your deal? Okay, Bow Wow gonna say I'm not gonna vote either, but he's not for the same reasons as Nick Cannon. At least Nick Cannon has something that you can kind of understand. He's like, I'm mixed, so I don't understand civil rights. You mix with what? Scotch and vodka? Sprite and vodka? Vodka and rum? What do you mix with? Hypnotic and vodka? What do you mix with? Because it doesn't matter. If you only have 1% of black in you, you are considered a black person, young man. So what are you talking about? You don't understand civil rights. All of that just goes over your head. You don't understand Black Lives Matter. That goes over your head. What is wrong with you? And Black Ron, who is a comedian from Dallas, he said it best on his page. He said, I guess when you used to getting your booty taken for so many years, it takes your manhood as well. I'm like, what is he talking about? And he produced this little, what looks like photoshopped picture of what's supposed to be his dad. I'm like, it does not matter. What you are perceived, what you are seen as is a black male when you walk outside your door. No matter how much money you have. Because Dr. Dre can testify to that right now. Because he was hemmed up by cops this week as well. It doesn't care. It doesn't matter. You made beats by Dre, or you're a millionaire, or whatever. He was still hemmed up. So what are you talking about? You mix with what? That irritates me when people are like, I mix so I don't count. No, you count. You count, honey. You still count. Okay? I don't care what you try to pull up, you mix with. It has always been said, if you have 1% black in you, you are black. Which makes a lot of Caucasian people black as well. But, you know, I ain't gonna get into that. Michael Jordan, he spoke out this week saying he couldn't take it anymore against the unjust deaths of blacks by police officers and the unjust death of police officers. So he donated $1 million each, one to NAACP with the Legal Defense and Educational Fund, and one to the Association of the Police Institute. And a lot of people are saying, you are you're a dollar late. You're a day late and a dollar short. What happened in the 90s when we wanted you to endorse Harvey and you didn't? Saying Republicans buy shoes too. What happened in 91, Rodney King? Can't we all just get along? You didn't speak up and say nothing. You wait all this time to speak up and say something. And I'm thinking back like, well, you know what? I've never owned a pair of Jordans in my life, and I don't feel sad about that. People are coming out saying Jordan is in it for himself. And they're like, I don't even want to hear Jordan. And a lot of people are like, I don't even want to hear Jordan unless he talking about giving back to the black community, which has spent so much money on him and his products, which is Jordan shoes. I'm like, And then, oh my goodness, Raven Simone even came out talking about, you know what, we need to boycott. When all the hoo-ha, because if you don't know, I live in Dallas, okay? I'm Dallas born and raised, okay? Hate me if you want. Raven Simone, after the shooting happened in Dallas that Thursday night with the police officers, she came out saying we need to boycott black businesses. A lot of people are like, she okay? You alright? Because you said, last time we checked, you said you weren't part of this race, and now you're talking about we need to boycott? So it's a lot of people, they trying to step up. I mean, hey, I say show it in your actions, not your words. And show it in more than donating. Get out there. Rally with people, you know. Reach out to families. Do something more. You donating money, that doesn't mean anything to me because you got money. Baby, Michael Jordan to me is richer than I will ever be probably in life. The only other black person got more money than him is Oprah. So I'm like, and yeah, Raven, yeah. Like Wendy, I'm going to take your job someday, so it don't really matter. But, you know, I feel they should do more than just talk. Show in action. Show in getting out in your community. And that's one thing I'm big about. I get out in the community. I go to rallies. I don't go to every rally, but I go to rallies. I support causes. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. a lot of people came down on Michael Jordan saying, you're just late. Dude, when we were asking you to be there, you were not there. And now all of a sudden you're there. And it seems like the only person that got his back is Carmelo Anthony. Lala Anthony's husband. So, moving on. Speaking of social media, this mom from Georgia, she live feeds on Facebook her whooping her child for posting a semi-inappropriate picture online. So she calls herself disciplining the child by posting her whooping her online live on Facebook. And I'm like, you know what? I am sick of parents thinking they're doing something smart by posting you whooping your child to Facebook. To social media. You're not doing anything smart. What you're doing, you're allowing people to judge your parenting style. You're allowing people to call CPS on you. And what you are allowing is for people to take judgment upon you. And then I'm looking at the daughter and I'm like, you got on this half-cropped little sports shirt on and these little shorts, and the mom is sitting here just saying anything. And I'll be the first one to say, yeah, my mom Derlin, she has slapped me in the mouth plenty of times. I do not even care to remember how many. She has done it because I have felt the need to buck up to her and be like, I'm grown. And she like, you what? I'm nothing. And you can choose to discipline your child however you want to. But the thing is, my thing with parents is, just because social media is a new thing, don't put it on there. Don't put it on there. Take your child off of social media. How about that? Take away their phone. Yeah, take away their phone privileges. But you do not have to get on social media and make a bigger mock-a-see of what's going on. And you just do not have to do things just to the limit. And I'm looking at the daughter and I'm like, she got on a half crop and some little teeny tiny shorts. I don't care if I was just walking around the house. My mom been like, baby, you need to go change. There are men in this house, and it could just be my brother. She'd be like, it's other men. They don't feel like looking at that. They don't want to look at that. And she would tell me to go change and put on something that is more appropriate. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, then I'm looking at the mom and I'm like, you got your butt hanging out in these shorts. I got a pair of shorts like that too at home. They blue. I'm like, I wouldn't have recorded myself in that, disciplining my child. And I understand she probably meant it for all the good in the world, but it did all the worst. Okay? Other than that, Power has come back. They asked the character Natara Newton. She plays Tasha. Okay, they asked her how she felt about the beef between her and Lil' Kim. She's like, beef? There is no beef. They went back to Notorious. Oh my goodness, years ago. Lil' Kim had a beef with you about you playing her character. How do you feel? And she's like, there's no beef. I was privileged to play. I'm from Jersey, and I played a girl that's from Jersey, and there's no beef. People trying to make something out of what it's not. But anyway, that is the weekly tea. If I missed something, tell me in the comments. Just let me know. Until next week, I'm out.